July 21, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2002 chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. There was no economic data that came out, and it's very blank because I really didn't mark any setups. There was an almost trade here, but today was very low volume, very low volatility. Now, if you look at the daily chart, surprisingly, I think it made an all-time high right here at 63.74. But other than that, it didn't really give you any real setups. And it was kind of a very slow, very meandering day. The ATR stayed below 2, I would say, for pretty much the whole day. And so I didn't take any trades, but I didn't really see anything. I'm gonna go through the charts pretty quickly. Now, unfortunately, on days like this, you don't know it's gonna be like that. So it's a perfect day to have just taken off, skipped, gone done something else. So the pre-market, it pushes up, pulls back, makes a second measured leg up, then it stair steps down. So it's actually first entry long. You technically get a second entry long here. It's in the pre-market. I'm not really trading the pre-market, so it looks like it's one leg down, sideways, second leg down. Then right before the open, it rallies, pushes up on what I think is this green up channel. Break the green up channel, test the high, and then it starts moving in this very shallow orange up channel. There's no clean, well, no real second entries here. It later established this yellow up channel. Looks like prices are fitting in pretty nicely. Kind of moved. Something about like that. There's no second entries here. It's a high. Technically, you have a first entry long pullback, second entry long right here. It's below the EMA. It's a bad signal bar. I'm not really liking it. I want a higher low. You kind of get a higher low here, but it's also below the EMA. Not the best signal bar. It does bounce off the EMA, which does act as support, pushes up. I mean, you could say it's a new low, first entry short, second entry short failure. Yes, but it's already pressing and making new high of day, so I'm reluctant to try to go long here. And it's pretty far from the EMA, so there's no real, just kind of looks like it could lose steam and reverse at any time. Pushes up, hits the highest, hits the high of the day and the high it's ever been so far. Comes down to first entry long pullback. I saw a second entry long here. In real time, I was thinking about it. It's kind of tempted, but I couldn't see any other support line to establish. Just go ahead and put that here. Nothing really looked like it had created a good bounce point. I'll go ahead and delete that. But I saw it. I was thinking about it in real time, but I didn't take it. I'm okay with it. Below the EMA. Remember, the ATR is really low, so I have to go for just a quick 1 point scalp. Pushes up, and you do kind of get a higher low right here. It looks like it's a kind of a loose first entry long pullback, second entry long, and a potential higher low here. The thing with that is, I was thinking it also looks like it's just moving down on this yellow down channel. So even though it's a higher low, it's hard to justify trying to take a trade right there. And prices just kind of chop sideways. These are really not very impressive. These are small candles, but they're just so range and congested. It's hard to know if it's going to break up, break down. Looks like it was two legs up, hits the high, first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here. Inside bar, not the right color because it should be green. And it's hard to argue it's bouncing off the EMA. And this price action just looks like it's meandering at this point. It kind of hits this, starts moving down this green down channel, break, tests the low, makes another attempt down. Not really, I mean, there's you count for second entries in here, but it's not very clean. I saw a new low here as a first entry short pullback. Second entry short, I really wanted this to close more bearish because then I would think maybe there's a possible trade, but I was conflicted with the idea that this green down channel is already broken. That's the low. This orange up channel, technically, if it breaks, I would think it want to test the highs. It breaks and pushes down, so you don't really expect this. And by that time, I'm just sitting back again. I'm not really looking to take a trade here because it's a little wild. Bounces and comes back up. So it looks like it's one leg up, pull back, second leg up. So I'm wondering if it's going to hit the high side up to here, or maybe potentially some kind of resistance here. Pushes up. So I'm looking at a potential test of this potential resistance or the high of day. So it looks like it's a first entry short visual, first entry, second entry. Now I'm looking for a lower high. This could be a lower high, but when the follow through happens, because you're thinking lower high, next candle you want to see break below here and continue down. When you see this, now I'm not thinking of going short. Definitely not thinking of reversing and going long either. So it's more like a, I'm not sure what's happening, sit on my hands and wait for more stuff to happen. Looks like it's kind of sideways consolidation. It starts pushing down. Technically, you have a first entry long here. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but here I'm not ready to take a long yet. You could argue the break of this green down channel is tested low. It's a good signal bar. EMA may or may not be coming into play. So if I wanted to go long in this case, I want a higher low above the EMA. So you have a first entry, potential second entry, but I also saw it as a potential just a very visual first entry. So in other words, I'm just waiting for more candles to print to give me a better idea of what's going on. Technically, our first entry, second entry, long, second entry long failure. But here, again, I'm not necessarily ready to try to take a short. And then seeing the next few candles kind of just pile up. Again, now I'm not thinking of going long or short because I'm just kind of not too clear what price action is doing. It looks like it's ranging, but it's kind of at the high side of the range. Drops around, so technically you have a new low, first entry short, and just kind of continues back down. So again, just sitting and waiting my hands. You could argue from here, localized high, first entry long, second entry long. The second entry long is not the best signal bar. When you see this in real time, I'm not thinking of going long yet. Now you have a confirmed second entry long from here. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. I want a higher low in order to feel confident of going long. I did draw this orange channel, it's a little bit tighter. I had a breakout, then later I dragged it to here. So I'm thinking this could act as resistance, so I'm not ready to go long, but I'm also not ready to go short yet. And then kind of continues down. So it looks like it's fitting the inside this yellow down channel pretty well. Continues down. It's a low. First entry short, pullback. I'm thinking, is there possible second entry short? Now, if this orange down channel is in play, I have an overshoot here. So you're expecting probably one leg up, pullback, second leg up, and maybe a resumption back in the same direction here. But as I've learned, if you have an overshoot here, don't trust too much the first, second entry that goes in the same direction as this down channel because it could be a trap. In order for me to feel this, like it's resuming the short and maybe not pushing back out this way, I need a second entry short, so that's yet to be confirmed, but then I need a lower high. So here you have a second entry short now, but I do not like the follow through. And then I don't like the follow through here definitely. So it is a second entry short. In order for me to go short, I wanted the next few candles to not break above this, and I needed a lower high. So in other words, maybe this candle prints here, next one breaks above the candle that was supposed to print here above and then flush down. But none of that happened. Now I'm just sitting again, watching and waiting. Pushes up. New high, it's a first entry long. Technically you have a second entry long here. Looks like it's two measured legs now. Maybe it's going back up, but the EMA is looking like it's acting as resistance. Pushes down and out. And now it's getting really late in the day. So definitely after sitting through this junky price action, I wasn't really thinking of trying to take a trade at this point. Pushes down, you have a first entry short. Technically you have a second entry short, so it's wrong signal bar, wrong color. And just kind of moves into the close. By then, this is already like only 5 more minutes of trading. So even if a setup shows up, I wouldn't be taking a trade right there. Overall, it's a very, very slow day. No setups actually that I really marked. And it was a good day to just probably have taken off or not done anything. In this case, I didn't do anything, but I had to sit through the whole day to kind of realize, well, probably toward the last hour, realize it's probably not going to happen. But still, you sat through about 5.5 hours of trading. Also, I want to point out, if you look at how many candles printed, about 251 bars. So if each bar was 1 minute, this is only about 4 hours of trading on a 6.5 hour day. So clearly it was a very slow day, nothing really happening. So hopefully price action gets better tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week. Hopefully this was helpful.